When we call patients, we want to keep in mind that um, when we say when we talk to the patient, we're going to usually tell them that we're going to only confirm appointments probably 24 to 34 hours beforehand. We're going to confirm the appointments 24 hours. Next phone call will be just a reminder because we have a very high cancellation rate among the patients. They tend not to come in even if they say, "Oh, I'll see you tomorrow." So we will discuss some sentences that we need to say to the patient in order to convince them that they should come in when they say they will come in. And also, if we want to cancel on them or reschedule, that they won't be upset with us. Okay. This is also important too, which is that when the secretary must always remind the patient not to talk to staff at the school. When the patient arrives, the first thing you should do is just phone the secretary, and then I will come out and call the name of the patient. The staff at the school has no idea of my schedule. They don't know what's going on. It's just there's just so many students, so many patients, they can't keep up with it, and it actually just annoys them when they do this. So I put it in Hebrew for you to understand if it's a little difficult to understand in the English. So basically, we just finished as if entering in all the information that we would get from the patient, such as when he wants the appointment, when he wants to have the phone call. Now that we're done, we hit Control Shift semicolon again. Control Shift semicolon and Alt Tab, if you remember. And we see that I was doing this for about 13 minutes. Comments about the patient on the phone? No, I have no comments about him on the phone. So now we're going to talk about the jobs that I can do. Basically, how can I update the or add to the Google Calendar? And this is the most important right now, formula. We know that we can actually create a phone log event for Woodrow. Now remember, sometimes you might, for instance, want to make an appointment. Your goal is to make an appointment. Let's call Woodrow Wilson the next time, and we will tell him, let's make an appointment. And sometimes he might say, no, I don't want to make an appointment. Call me back in a day. He can say that. So therefore, our goal of making an appointment didn't actually happen. We can't actually make an appointment. So getting back over here, we see that we can now accomplish a phone log event, which isn't, so we put a 1 over there. Some of these formulas, they know automatically based on what you filled in above that this should be a 1 or a 0, that you can or you cannot do this. So it's sensitive. I built it this way. Now here's the thing that you got to remember. This is a little tricky, is that we have to identify the goals for the next interaction. The next secretary, what does she want to do? So let's, if you remember my PowerPoint, I discussed each and every one of these goals. So you might need to review that to understand what's going on, but I'm going to just briefly give you an idea of when we're supposed to make the phone calls for the patients. This is always going to be in the back of your mind when we're talking to the patients about the certain dates and times of the next phone call. So we're going to always call the patient 3 days before the appointment just to say, hey, let's just want to see, are you still interested in your appointment? We call him the night before the appointment. We call him 3 hours before the appointment to see if he's on his way to the appointment. This is the most popular time to get cancellations, 3 hours before the appointment, because they'll say, my dog is sick, or my child is sick, or it's raining. And then we have 10 minutes before the appointment. 10 minutes before the appointment to just say, hello, you're supposed to be in the waiting room. Are you in the waiting room? That's the next time we talk to him. Okay, so the next secretary, well, she's definitely going to have to update the phone log event description. Updating the phone log event description lets us know that the secretary did her job and saw that there was a phone log coming in. Then she also has to create a phone log event because we know she's going to make an appointment. She'll definitely make an appointment. And if she's going to make an appointment, she's going to have to obviously phone the patient before that appointment, whether it be 3 days before, the night before, 3 hours before, or 10 minutes before the actual appointment. She's also going to complete the first phone call. Okay? And what that means is that they're going to do some introduction and read the Ten Commandments, like you said before, give directions and things of that nature. Okay, so now we're going to get into updating the Google Calendar. There was nothing to do with clinical activity. Clinical activity being that the patient came in and I did some treatment on him. It didn't happen. Now, skip there was no phone log event in the past, so we don't have to update the past phone log event. Let's keep going. There was no appointment zone. We have no appointments in the past. So here we go. Complete the phone log zone. You don't need to read this. These little font, this little script, this little text here. Formula: go to Google Calendar. Click in the upper left. Click on the small white triangle next to Create. Copy and paste this into the pop-up box. Click Add. Then click on the blue pop-up link at the top of the screen. So how do I do this? Control C to copy. I can use Alt Tab, but I'll click over here. Here's the small white triangle called Quick Add. We quick add. We have a pop-up. Hit Control V and we hit Add. Boom. Now we're going to click on the blue pop-up link right over here. Okay. So, just to let you know, based on the goals of this event, which are to create an appointment book event, make and schedule another phone call, and complete the first phone call, it's going to influence how much time the secretary is given to make this phone call. So my guess is that it'll take about a little less than 20 minutes to do this. So now we did that. Double check the name of the Google Calendar. So we have the date and time. We have where is not important. The calendar. The calendar name is obviously not wrong calendar. That's incorrect. So we have to use the right calendar name, which is phone log. And I know that it's a phone log event on the phone log because it says phone log over there, and it reminds us again over here. All right. Now, I skipped the space on purpose. Use Control Shift arrow. So let me show you that. Control Shift arrow down. Okay? When you hit Control Shift arrow, it makes you jump around faster. So I'm going to hit it right now. Control Shift arrow down. Let's try it again. Down. Okay. So I'm going to copy all this information. Control C. Okay? I have all this information, which is going to give us tons of good information that we want, like the patient's name, the patient's rank, his phone number, his two dots. All this information is going to go into the description. So we're going to click to add a description. We hit Control V, and we can scroll down and we can see all this wonderful information. Okay. And what I was going to say is that you can add a reminder. All reminders are going to be emails. You can put it 10 minutes. You can put it 10 hours. Whatever you want. Doesn't bother me. But since this is not a real patient, Woodrow Wilson is not a real patient, we're not going to have any real reminders. You can hit save to save the event because we finished. And I'll say over here at the very bottom, watch this. I hit Control down, save the event on the phone log calendar. Then you can put a 1 in there. So we can hit save, or we can hit. Sometimes it has a little funny screen. We hit Alt Tab to go back. Control S. Control S will save the event. So instead of clicking save, I'm going to actually hit Control S. Event was updated or saved. Okay. Just to double check, I can show you right over here. At 19:30, here's the patient Woodrow Wilson. And we're going to call Woodrow Wilson. Okay. We know that we succeeded in this, and he will get called around 19:30. All right. Next. We're almost done. That was the most significant thing we did. So we create an appointment. Nope, we skipped that. I'm just jumping around a little bit. Sorry about that, but we're skipping the appointment book event on Google Calendar because we didn't make any appointment books. We're not adding any appointments. Now that we finished our computer use, we hit Control, Shift, semicolon. We're done updating the Google Calendar. Now we're basically done with this entire process. If you took a break, while doing this, if the baby started crying or you had to run out and get milk, it's not normal that it's going to take you 75 minutes to update the computer. So if that happens, you have to use your own judgment and write down that you took a break for, let's say, 5 minutes because break, I was talking to my friends and showing them the computer system. So it makes sense. Now we know, now we're going to do the administrative. It's time to get the secretary paid. In order to get paid, we have to first click down, we have to first click on, go to this link over here, and you have to find your timesheet. My name's Jason V, so I click on Jason V timesheet. Okay. We also see back here, by the way, there's Tina T. You're going to be in there, Michael J, Elton J, whatever your code name is. Eyal Golan would be EILG. So I was doing a lot of work yesterday, so we have a lot of work to show. But I'm going to start a brand new sheet. Okay, so now that we have opened up our sheet, we have to fill up our timesheet. And your timesheet in the upper left should have your name, Jason V, and then the word timesheet. And you can always rename the sheet if you, I'm doing Jason V, it could be Michael J, or timesheet, and then you can hit OK. Or, but since I'm Jason V, I'm going to stick it back to Jason V. All right. So now remember, Control Shift arrow down. Control Shift arrow down. All right. And oops, that's not the right. Over here we are. Control Shift arrow down. Control C to copy. And we go back to our timesheet. Now, there's a little bit of a bug in the Google document system. If I'm going to hit Control V into the A1, sometimes it has these little formulas. Remember, most of my sheet is going to be formula based, but there's problems. So we hit, if this comes up, just hit Edit Undo or Control Z. And what you have to do is you have to open up Microsoft Excel. And Excel, you can open, you can paste over here, Control V, and it'll have all the data that you need. Hit Control C, and we go back to our sheet, hit Control V. And there's all the information that we need. I'm just going to go back here and delete this column because I like everything to be nice and neat. All right, so we have our timesheet. Now, if you go back over here, we're almost done. Now you're going to get paid because I know how much, what you actually did and how much time you took. Now you have to email me a copy of that timesheet as an attachment. That way I know you did your work. And the subject is going to be timesheet for Jason V on the date and time of this. So Control C to copy, file, emails attachment, Control V, Jason V because I want a copy for myself, and Jason Dental. Excellent. And we can always copy and put this into the message. Control A, Control C. Whoops. Apologize, I just hit something. I'm not exactly sure what, but we're going to